Okay, I'm going to start thinking times and do scoring a couple times and I realized. So my deck is my Salamangreat deck is still the same as it was a couple of days ago. Still the same everything. Only thing I'm debating here and there is mostly Glory Mount Impermanent 1, but since event's almost going away, it doesn't matter. Now let's get on to the videos. First match, Sky Strikers. Nothing normal. 2 effect railers, 1 drill lock, 1 max cease, 3 ashes, usually 2 or 3 of. The ghost spell is the one thing I'm surprised about. Every single Sky Striker run on max as possible except for Rose. Dawn Wrestler, not surprising, considering you're just mostly utilizing it for the first and secondary effect. Kaiju, not surprising. I would have just gone Lava Golem personally. Nibiru, not surprising. Everything else, not surprising that much, was Paul Iris. Not surprising. Paul Desires, surprising enough to me a little bit, not much. Every single Sky Striker Tekken with 1 mystical and 1 cosmic. Personally, I would not use cosmic though, but for his banish effect, it's worth it, I guess. Called by Grave, I'm surprised not 2, but Brian does done for consistent reasons. Sky Striker Hornets with everything at 1. Standard Mal 3 outs for most of the Sky Strikers, but with some generic stuff like Nightmare Unicorn, World Chalice, with just for its sending 1 card from each player's field to the grave. That's about it. Nightmare Unicorn, not surprising, since your pretty will just use it to shuffle 1 card back to deck. 1 Frame, not surprising much, just for the spellcasters to utilize the drill and lock infect veilers. And not surprising about the last choice, Rest Festival. I do remember at least most of the interactions still this day. Most of his matches will also. This is one of my matches off stream that I've done. I double checked to see if I record this yet. I always do before I start. Nothing much here. Mostly set 3. I decided to do it just so they don't get any a specific Strike Striker to the field. Finally, I decided to use Slim. I had to Flame Buffalo, mostly draw cards to actually get my field. But, Call by the Grave, I decided to proc that. I'm not glad I did it early. Special summon this, it was special summons out, but next only Ash, I got rid of 2 cards for one, which I wasn't going to discard anyway. Just something to actually get most of the stuff I need. Go for Link 3, go Transcode, which is my standard move. Go into access code here. Go and vanish. My opponent decided to do that immediately, but decided to get Sky Striker Ace stack field. Decided to banish it. Opponent's not using Sky Striker, but honestly, it wouldn't matter there for me. The funny thing is what they drew into after this turn. I decided to flex. I was also trying to make daily on if I'm right. I decided to send Helo the Grave, mostly so I at least have 4 cards to put back in my deck and need end turn. I could have just ended there, right there and then, but I was like, they can have something that can do something. That they can have some centigrade effects as well, some Tekken stuff. I don't know. Next match, Vision Heroes, a Vision Hero engine. Oh wait. That's one of the matches I'm actually, I should have just put it in public so I know that at least it wasn't. I was like, trust me, I was surprised I clicked by accident as well. Okay, this is essentially just Sky Trackers, but more cards than necessary personally. A lot of Ghost Spells. Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit. This Ghost Ogre makes sense. Upstart Goblin, personally, not really needed. Monster Reborn, Polaris. Motofo's Fusion was the one card I don't understand, but I can understand if you're just sending to the grave mostly to draw one new card. Pausires. Mostly lots stable Sky Striker cards, but with the field spell this time, 2 Cloud Graves, another Sky Striker engine. Stable everything is, same amount of the same cards. With 8 abilities, which makes sense since most people are also utilizing the Stretcher deck now. But essentially they had to utilize Ash of all things, so for me that's odd. Next up, Light Charmer, which makes sense because of Blue Eye still being a thing. But essentially they're using a lot of Charmers for no reason that some don't make sense. I would stick with one. Next up, Link Chalice makes sense. Pretty much everything, but the Underworld Goddess. That's where I found this deck at least interesting afterwards, facing it. Let's start. My open hand was pretty good. Essentially, I wanted to get something and also bait out Ash, so I had a Coyote in my hand. I was gonna add do Signet, but I was like, it's not worth it yet. Essentially, just do that there. So that one Signet, mostly bait out Ash, but I'm surprised they didn't do it earlier when I was activating it. Essentially, I should have just added it back to my hand for this play. They barely managed to pass, personally, if it's not purebred. Essentially, I should have just added this back to my hand, so at least I have something more useful for combo-wise. Attack directly, not surprising enough to me. I decided to negate it. Mostly so at least I have a League 3 to go into. Banishing it. What am I? Personally, negating the effect is actually not worth it. Go into Link 2, go into Splash Mage, go into Link 3, then go into Link 4. Go into Update Jammer there. Go into Trash Code. Push them out. Next up, go into Access Code Talker. You make it so at least they have more attack points. Next time this was rapidly game. I'm pretty sure it's on stream. Next up, just live in the VTuber deck, which a bunch of them at 3 copies, with some at 1, because you can easily search them out mostly. What's the matches? The Lava Golems and Aspires, but 2 Nibiru's. Personally, I was stuck with 1 Nibiru. Dark Whirl No More, which is not surprising. A card I am concerning, at least. Sugar Passer, not surprising, mostly since you mostly add a lot more cards. which mostly a lot a staple of evenly matched, which I'm personally still considering crafting. Essentially just Link Star mostly for your on turn. Or just get rid cards you actually need. Mostly everything else is stable, like Nightmare Unicorn, Up, and Chain Abomination, Access Code Talker, the Twins. Which is where most of this deck, bread and butter, mostly just ends this whole match. Which is not surprising. Because I feel like, personally, of all the VT word cards, I feel like Troubled Sunny's where most of this deck mostly pops off. Since you can pretty much... Since you can pretty much destroy anything, essentially. This one was this one, right? Yeah. Wait. No. This one was a 3-up match, right? Personally, I always forget, but also that deck... Okay, yeah, so I was right about this one. Personally, I really should just stop pausing Chima's recording over my voice. So far, my hand was alright. Essentially, I would just add my time passcode, add Ladybug, add sign out to Ladybug with sign net mining. It's the perfect LP hand. Add this, go Slint. So now apparently I got 3 monsters up. I can also make yugioh. Supposed to summon this. Go into that, go into Heat Sunlight, Heat Wolf. Also, I should wait on summoning so I can get some cards back in my hand. Activate my... Mostly so I can actually stop popping. As I noticed, a lot of people mostly run Ghost and Ogre most of this event. Since they mostly just want me to negate a whole lot. Mostly get this, re-add one of my combo pieces, go in Transcode. I take Transcode mostly so I can go to Link 3. I accidentally forgot about that, they were just trying to get rid of that. Lightning Storm there. Personally, this whole match, Nibiru was the MVP for this whole match. They're overcommitted. Essentially, my point mostly they actually were thinking I'm going to misplay. I don't. Go into that, pop off, go into Link Rebo. Personally, I should have just gone Link 3 there. But I also managed to pop off. My opponent didn't do anything worthwhile. Nothing much like a chain here, essentially, since I get rid of all the traps. This one, I remember like most of these on stream except for the last 2. Next up, here comes the mirror match. But with them using Effect Veiler, Maxi, Ghost Ogre, Ash, Blossoms. Oh, both those. Foxy, not much, but 2 of Gazelles, not surprising. I'm surprised they're not rank 3 this. But I'm more surprised they're not running the returner, essentially, to actually return most of the cards. Falco, not surprising. Since you can also just plus add it, or set. Falco essentially is a re-extender, so you can realize the effects. Personally, it's an option. But this is more... They essentially just bought a few copies, probably at least 2 or 3, probably. And just crafted what they need here. It didn't pulse summit. Sanctuary, not surprising. Personally, Sanctuary is not that good though, but you can also just utilize it to actually... Sanctuary experience actually better since it allows you to relink essentially and get the effects off. Again. Since it allows you to utilize some timing cards in mind, So you guys should poke Sunlight Wolf mostly is the best opener. You mostly go link one either way, so you can pop off. Cross that Designator, which is pretty much the necessary card. Droplets. Imperm. Rage. Solemn Judgment is pretty much where I would draw the line with this deck, technically, I feel like. Or essentially everything else was, which only thing that surprised me is only running 2 copies of Splash. Decode Heat Soul, which I'm surprised they're not running a little bit more of, but I'm not running it anyway. It's just an option. Essentially, my opening hand was pretty good. I got enough cards to actually pop off if I need to. Personally, my whole plan was also waiting until Nibiru. I could have waited to Sanctuary though, but still they have 2 copies. But so essentially I can mostly make them not proc. My next action I was thinking was just to go Coyote there, get the most of the cards I need. I'm surprised I didn't max seed first thing. Regeki mostly activate it, mostly gain 1000. Activate Coyote, outlet hand, so I spell summon out. Honestly, I should have effect Imperm though, but it wouldn't matter. They essentially redo this. Go into Splash Mage. Personally, this is where I feel like they effed up my mistake. They Imperm for no reason as well, so that's the one thing I was like wondering what the heck are they doing here. Ladybug mostly had 1 card though, but decided to ash it. Instead, I would go with my own Splash Mage. Solemn Judgment. I was also trying to get my Link Daily out for the event, as you know. I selected Rage. Nibiru was MVP for this whole match. Opponent decided to do that for no reason. Next up, pretty much don't have anything else in the grade to most activate its effect. They decided to do it just for the Link Event, probably, is my guess. Next up, 2 matches that were off-stream. Wait a minute. Honestly, this is the first time seeing the deck. They're playing Tri-Brigades with Frame Agent, which is not surprising with Gamma, 1DD Crow, Tri-Brigade Navelle, Maxi, Tri-Brigade Chris, Tri-Brigade Kit, 2 Ashes, Farco. This Tri-Brigade not surprising, Nibiru not surprising, Regeki, Pazires, then pretty much Small World, which I guess makes sense personally. Next up, Tenki, Tri-Brigade Standoff, Called by the Grave, Cross-Out Designator, which makes sense. To negate cards like Regeki, Call by the Grave, Droplet, or Imperm. Tri-Brigade Airborne Assault, Renzos. Tri-Brigade Revolt, which is not surprising enough to me, since it allows you to do a whole lot. Solemn Judgment. Personally, I would have stuck with Strike personally, since it's better. At least and more budget friendly. Like, since you're only paying 15 versus half. Salamangreat Imagery. Not surprising. Most of our deck mostly has, you know, low attack points in the first place. Most are at least a decent chunk of their cards. And that's just for an almost summon mostly destroyed. Nightmare Phoenix, Nightmare Service, which is not surprising. The Nightmare stays is always Pog, Right Fine Drum Doll. which is not surprising since it allows you to utilize cards that activate in the grave effect. That's where this card would have been better versus this deck. Like, if you time it right, you could do it right, but I don't think it's worth it otherwise. It being not surprising since you're only using it for go additional link during punch turn. If needing to something like, you know, unicorn and everything. Personally, I'm more curious about the Gleaming Mind. But Order can just use it for a searcher. Unicorn's not surprising. Honestly, this card is the most crushable thing for me entirely. Like, they don't have much wind monsters, I think. Since I don't think Tri-Brigade has that much wind, essentially, to justify it. Besides Neville, I would not run this card. It's good. It's good, but not much. Tri-Brigade's not surprising for this one. This is not surprising for this one, since essentially it's a light and darkness dragon with on wheels, essentially, without losing as much attack points, since you need more monsters for it. Essentially, you might get 32, but light and darkness is more good. Tri-Brigade strategy is not surprising. The whole Tri-Brigade. Also, I was just trying to win. These were the only two matches which I found interesting. Since I decided to do it, since I mostly got plat 5, I thought I was plat 5, but I was gold 5 by accident. At the time. Essentially, to one-time passcode is always your one of. Go into books. Add one card. Essentially, pay out whatever I need. Essentially, reveal to mostly add. Anything about itself, let's try to find out later. I decided to do that. Buffalo would have been my choice personally. Buffalo would have been my choice if I actually had some stuff worth discarding, essentially. Since anything else would have worked, so I decided to go Foxy either way. That was my target either way. Re-add Foxy back to hand so I can have more cards. Going back to Link 3, going Trascode into Heatlow. I essentially wanted to go into where they had to use Lightning Storm to actually end this whole match. I decided to dash them there. Since I know most of the deck, or at least that point. Fervent Droplet. Personally, that was the smartest move they could have made. Personally, getting rid of Transco was the best thing to do this whole match. Personally, I'm not surprised though, but they end up monsters on the field, and I only had no one monster card in their hand, which was Tri-Brigade. Personally, I'm just surprised at anything else. But it is a better choice. Activate Hilo. Essentially, they managed to negate the effect. I special them back out. Go into Slimix. Add it. They thought I was going to add Ash to hand, but I already had Ash. I was just going to add something else, so they wasted their own target. They should have waited until like what I picked, essentially. Going Hilo mostly so I can actually get another copy in my hand. It was a wasted move. But I realized afterwards I should have just attacked first, then do it, so I can actually get 23 points of damage worth instead of about 18. Banishing stuff out, which is not surprising for Tri-Brigade. I got 3 slows, so at least I have to go into Link 4. Essentially, what I drew in was my cheat card. Discard it. If my opponent actually got enough monsters out, or just special more than I say, I would have Nibiru them. Destroy it. Ash there. Essentially with Ash there, mostly so that I can add another try-big monster to hand next turn once I go into access code if I fail, but I'm pretty sure I was going to. But I don't want to activate any hatch traps. Just now you go sign it, get rid of Nibiru since it's a blank card. Go into Dot Scrapper. Got added it, add. And also, so I got add Rhea stuff. I was surprised I don't have Buffalo in my hand, my choice, but I was surprised. So I decided to do this. Go in Splash Mage. Go into Dot Scrapper. Get my Link 3 out. Go into Update Jammer. Actually, I forgot to go and update Jammer, but I couldn't for some reason. Since I had the Cyber Scars needed. Since I was going to win this duel regardless, based on life points, I decided to end it. I decided to go 23. I decided they're gonna say, since they had nothing to work with, even to activate the effect, even if they activate the effect of Tri-Brigade Oracle, it would have just been 0 regardless if they could, so I decided mostly to go that for game. Next up, finally the last duel. The Cubit deck. The Nightmare, and I somehow managed to win this deck, which surprised me. Pretty much every standard Cubit card that's viable with focuses around the level 4 there. That's pretty much all the Cubit cards with this one. Rigeki, not surprising, but I'm not surprised they crafted Harpy probably. Raising, on the other hand, was the one thing. It would take me a while if I don't know anything about their deck. I would have said level 4 at least. Or level 10. Since either way, I would say level 4 more likely. I should say level 4 personally. Cubic Wave, which is not surprising. Fool's Burial, mostly to get most of the rest stuff. Lightning Storm. Cubic Karma. Forbidden Chalice, which makes sense. Call by the Grave. Forbidden Droplet. Cubic Rebirth. Pretty much every single Cubic card you can probably need. But not much. Mostly go engine-wise. The Linkish makes sense. Since you're only running... Like, it would have made sense if they're running some cards, but I'm surprised no Ash of all things. They're just putting in a bunch of stuff that would... But I would have put in some of the generic stuff that's valuable for them. If they're winning this vessel, unless pretty much they finish everything you need. Finally, last match. The only thing I'm surprised about, they're not even running Maxine in the deck. Essentially, I decided to activate Will first, since I need some stuff. I added that, mostly going to Blinks there. Activate Silate, mostly get Dog Scrapper sent to Grave. To actually add it, index only +2 there. Decided to go there. Go into Decoder. Go into Heat Low. Next up, that's all I can do that turn. Fool's Burial, I could have Ashed there, but I did not know my opponent had. They had a Cubic card in hand. I decided to Ash there since I know what they're doing. Lightning Storm when it worked. They were going for my spell apparently though, but I knew my spell was my viable option to win this whole match out. Essentially, what paused me was them not going for my Transcode Talker, which would have made sense. But I remember afterwards that they would have dealt. But afterwards, I was like, I also do that. Essentially, Cubic cards are good for most of their daily. I said I go into Trasco, go into Bellex, draw one card, draw two. But I realized afterwards I should have gone to Heat Leo first. So I could grab off Mole afterwards. I mean Bellex, I mean Sunlight Wolf. Go into that, shuffle it. Essentially, and there, I started waiting until the battle phase. Set it off by doing that. Essentially, I had my out. Was my lucky draw. I had to mostly look for the right monsters. Essentially, I felt like I needed to work with what I can. Personally, Nova, I would have waited, but I could have gone into transcode if I had a chance, but I couldn't. I could go transcode if I actually had a chance, but it would not work, I think. If I had Sunlight Wolf first, then to go in this, I would have gone into it. But, as well as that discards unaffected by monsters or active effects whose original attack is, so when it matters. I go into Link 4 there, go into Transcode. Transcode for a game, essentially. Since I had the rest of my cards to draw into everything, I made a few misplays. I realized that I could have added some cards back to my hand combo-wise this year match, but Buffalo into dropping was my best chance to mostly so I can see what I can work with. Overall, that's enough recording. I do have one match, as you saw right here, that I want to go to. That I'm just waiting some more off-stream videos first to go along with it, at least into the match. Have a good day or night, wherever you are.